Hey guys, it's Mathil here once again, and the next adventure in our Path of Exile careers, the next league, Incursion League, has been announced and dropped on us today. So starting June 1st, we'll have a brand new league, which is Incursion. I do want to go over basically all of the information we're given today for you guys in detail, but to start with, I do want to just show you the trailer and me watching it live with the stream with my shitty little useless comments in between, and from there I'll go over everything in a fair amount of detail, and we'll also have a link for the VOD, or just the specific 1.5 hour long announcement VOD that we went over live, if you'd rather watch that rather than me summarize this as a more of a second impression instead. Watch the trailer. Supporter packs now available. Alright, everybody calm down.
The Vaal Temple of Axoatl. Wealth, decadence, cruelty, death. Lost for over 1,000 years. But there is a way to find Axoatl. I will thrust you into the past.
Oh boy, time travel now. Monsters killed. Ooh, I like that. Bit blurry.
But beware. Changing the past will transform the temple's future. Defeat the architects. Open new paths. Steer the temple's construction.
Fucking hell.
Once we locate the ruins of Axoatl, everything within is ours for the taking.
Ooh, that rain of arrows. Looking good. God, what was that?
Are you ready? Let's make history.
Now go over and developer introduction. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. In Incursion, Alva Valai will transport you into the past to find the lost Vaal treasure temple of Axoatl. By spilling more Vaal blood, your time in the past can be extended. When the incursion ends, the items you earned will shower at your feet.
Ooh, loot showers.
Changes made in the past will affect the temple ruins in the present day. Unlocking doors in the past will allow you to access those rooms later. Killing Vaal architects will let you swap or upgrade rooms in the temple. You should remove rooms with disadvantages and upgrade rooms which can contain valuable rewards. You only get 11 chances to upgrade the temple before you visit it in the present, so make sure you do as much as you can to maximize your profits.
Vaal Blight, huh? Man, that would help Blight a lot, yeah.
Once you've looted the ruins of Axoatl, you may return to the past to reset the course of history and try again.
Cool. Man, that rain of arrows has me kinda hyped. The fuck was that thing? Big old laser show. So Vaal Blight is a big old explosion. That's some rain of arrows shit right there. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. That's some shit. That's a ground slam, yeah. Man, so many rooms and shit like this, and pathways and alleyways and whatnot. Make me think something like Lightning Strike is still completely boned. Right. So now that we've gone over the trailer, I do want to once again mention, feel free to go into the YouTube description. I'll leave you the link to the Twitch VOD if you want to just watch the whole 1.5 hour of us going over all of this in sort of detail, me talking to the stream, and basically first impressions. Because this is, now I've already seen it, and I'm just going to go over it and give a few little thoughts here or there. Long story short, Incursion League, that's our next league coming in 21 days on June 1st for the PC launch, and it's going to be more of a league around killing lots of things, which is now what they want to try and lean towards more for leagues after the experiment that was Bestiary and the community backlash and all of that. So they have realized that we want to kill things, we want to kill things fast, want to kill lots of things, and get lots of loot. So Incursion is stepping more towards that sort of thing, and you're going to have a separate zone to go into, kill lots of stuff in different rooms on timers, get lots of loot, build sort of a progression throughout your rooms, and hopefully just get a lot of extra content throughout that. So I'll go over the league itself fairly quickly, but as well as that, there is also going to be a lot of new items, unique items, new gems, so a few new actual skills and supports, as well as a lot of revamp to many of our old skills, which is something that's been long overdue, and it kind of explains why we haven't just had a few number tweaks on certain skills that we've long thought have needed help, because instead of just adding, you know, a few extra % to your ground slams or whatever, they kind of have wanted to, I guess for a while now, just revamp and give new life to a lot of these skills and just make them much more up to date to a lot of the newer skills and what the direction basically that Path of Exile has gone in the past few years. So we finally got that, and I think that should be a lot of content for us to go through. At least for me personally, it's less about the league and a lot more about all of the new skills and stuff that are coming and playing around with all of that. But what happens is it's going to be sort of a Vile Temple-y type thing where as you progress throughout the game, in I think just about every zone and every map, you're going to come across a Alva Valai, I think her name was, Alva Valai, and she's going to open a portal into the past so that you can go back and change the present with the temple itself that you're in. So you get ported to this temple into various rooms. You then clear as fast as you can, and the faster you clear, the more you can clear, and then the more you can potentially change. And then you can actually alter the temple that currently will have 11 different rooms and stages, as you can see here. And as you clear and various rooms and various pathways and kill various bosses that or architects that are trying to shape the way these things work, you will in turn create your own customizable little temple for those 11 zones. And then you, after you've done that 11 times or so, you then will have your Alva Valai open an actual portal to your present day temple that you then go and clear and get the end boss of. At least that's currently my understanding of it without reading absolutely every piece of information that's been thrown at us. So you should, throughout the course of your game and mapping, just come across 11 different Alva Valais, try and shape your temple as much as you can, and then find a Alva Valai which will give you present day temple that you have then created yourself, and you should be able to clear it and get some bonus loot. So just as an example of some of the loot that we get, we have a Zalatel's Elegant Foil, so just one blue mod here. Gives you a tier 1 lightning roll with 14% lightning pen. That's a pretty huge roll just all by itself, and that's a very nice item. Level 30 required as well, so that's pretty beastly. You can have a Guata Litzel's Astral Plate, so tier 1 life roll with 5% increased life as well. So that's a huge start for an Astral Plate. And then there's a few unique items which can be upgraded, I think, eventually. So you start out with this one and you can upgrade it later on throughout the temple as you go, I believe. And pretty basic sword, bit of fizz converted to random element, not too bad. And then it gets upgraded to this one, which has a lot of fizz, decent bit of attack speed, a lot of fizz then converted to a random element, 100% of your fizz rather, and then a bunch of extra damage. So it really does scream something like Elementalist or Wild Strike, and seems like a pretty strong item. And then a helm that looked pretty useless when I looked at it. But all this sort of stuff I encourage you to look at yourself and form your own opinions on. We then have a lot of Val skills being updated. The entire Val skill system is being reworked so that you can actually generate Val skills throughout boss fights. You won't be able to generate Val skills once you've just popped your Val skill, and in general, Val skills should feel a lot more potent, powerful, and useful throughout the game. And as well as that, you won't have to have separate Val skills to actual skills, because your one gem, once corrupted, will then also have the Val version of it in it, so it will be linked the same to your general setup and also with your Val setup. So you will have one gem for both purposes, and that makes things a lot smoother for your Val skill usage. And by the looks of it, just about all of these Val skills are going to be fairly insane. For example, Val Impurity of Fire will give you some reduced fire damage taken. Then you and nearby allies are immune to ignite, which I'm sure there's some uses for that. And then nearby enemies' fire resistance is ignored by hits. So altogether, you will be ignoring fire resist for, at a base, 6 seconds, and then that's going to be scaled by duration. So it's basically maybe going to ruin the viability of Inquisitor a bit, because each of these Val impurities of lightning, cold, purity of fire, all that's going to give you penetration to that one, or ignoring the resist to that one specific type of element, and you could easily build around that. We then have a skill that was showcased in a few of those gameplay clips and trailers in the past recently. We do have Val Blight. So as far as I can tell, just a much stronger version of Blight. The explosions themselves that you see in those clips are probably just occultist based, not actually anything to do with the Val Blight itself, but it just shoots out a large Blight that stacks a lot faster, a lot better than a regular Blight. So that's pretty nice, helpful tool for the actual Blight builds themselves. Then I have Lightning Spire Trap, a bunch of new trap gems basically. So all of these, which I will look at in a few minutes in a video for the skill gems that are being showcased. But yep, there's quite a nice few assortment of traps that look really cool and look like they're going to make traps a lot more fun. So you'll see that in just a few minutes. You then have Blade Vortex actually being changed up a bit. So instead of 20 stacks, it now goes up to 10 stacks. You now get a lot more increased hit rate for each blade. You also get a 100% increased critical strike chance once you get your 10 stacks going. And you can get a Val Blade Vortex. So that does quite a lot of damage. It goes straight up to 10 stacks, and it is independent of yourself. So you cast Val Blade Vortex, and it's going to leave a little, I guess, tornado that goes towards monsters, and you are going to be separately somewhere else doing your own Blade Vortex. So that seems like it's going to be pretty insane, because Blade Vortex already has really good single target, and this is just going to stack it up even higher and help you with some clear speed maybe every now and again. But Val Blade Vortex seems pretty nutty. There is also one support gem here, which is Charged Traps. Now this is going to be an easy way for you to generate your power charges, your frenzy charges, and it's also justifying its socket usage by giving you increased trap throwing speed per frenzy and crit multi per power charge. Seems pretty useful and could quite likely see a lot of use in many trap setups for the ease of use of your power frenzies, and also some decent crit multi and trap throwing speed. A bunch of skills are getting revamped, and that's been showcased in the past few weeks. So if you go to the news of the on the website, there are plenty out there. Ziggy D himself has made a pretty good video on a few of them, as well as mostly Incinerate and the Ignite rebalance that is coming. So Ignite should be fairly useful these days. I'm not completely sold on it for being single target useful, but if you check out Ziggy D's video, then you'll see that Ignite's looking pretty good for clear speed, and Elementalists may become quite in flavor of the month and meta once again. The other existing gems that are going to be revamped are going to be in a bit of a video in just a minute that a few of them go over. And then there's a few that weren't actually included in any of the previews, and so far I think that is Ice Spear, Lacerate, and Power Siphon. But Power Siphon and maybe Val Power Siphon getting reworked is a pretty exciting one for me personally. And as well as that, we'll also have 28 new unique items, 20 new div cards, and plenty of other changes, they say. So just as a quick aside here, you have a corruption that does 14% chance to gain Unholy Might for 3 seconds on kill. So that's replacing the crit strikes there. Not sure how useful that is. Could be pretty good for some builds, but losing the implicit definitely hurts on something like this dagger. A string of servitude, implicit modifier magnitudes are tripled. Now that's already in effect here, so that is 18% life on a belt, and it's just the implicit on this belt itself. You then have Zerfi's Heart, which seems pretty nuts. It's got a bunch of chaos damage, increased attribute requirement. Chaos damage can ignite, chill, and shock. So for your Dark Pact characters, that is fairly significant. And then gain Soul Eater for 10 seconds when you use a Vile skill. 10 seconds of Soul Eater is nothing to sneeze at, and it should be quite nice for clear speed. So this one on a Dark Pact seems pretty nuts. Then got Bleeding cannot be inflicted on you as a corruption on a ring. And you can see this ring has 70 life and 5% life as well. It's quite a lot of life coming from one ring. You have a Shaper's Seed, so the amulet itself, same as always, but it's got 2 corruptions. So that's kind of interesting as to how it can get that and what kind of combos you can get, as well as granting a level 23 Purity of Fire skill. So level 23 Purity of Fire is pretty popular for some RF characters, and that looks like a good corruption. And then just one preview of a div card, and that's 9 Shrieking Essences. So that is the upgraded version of the Screaming Essences, and that's a pretty good card right there. 9 Shriekings, can't go wrong with that. And then lastly, they've given us a couple new supporter packs, 2 different types for the Incursion supporter packs. So there's still going to be plenty of War for the Atlas supporter packs available. These are specifically for this league. And you have Council supporter and High Council supporter and Conquest supporter and Grand Conquest supporter. Now, it's entirely up to you what you like, what your flavor is. I personally didn't really like the Grand Conquest too much, or the Conquest too much. The weapon effect was kind of cool, and you can go over that in your own leisure. I bought the High Council. I wasn't a huge fan of some of the direction of this, but overall I thought it was a lot better, and I did like the character effect, the portal, and some of the weapon, the armor and all that I showed at the very start of this video. And the actual character effect is really cool because it's got a red tinge to it that kind of highlights your character and gives it a completely different effect and look. Overall, this one seems better for me and a better value. The weapon effect I can barely see or barely notice, so I'm not a huge fan of that one. But I think this one is definitely the go if you're into my sort of taste. And then lastly, if you go to Reddit every now and again, you will see that Chris Wilson has posted a collaboration of all of the different announcements that are being made from various gaming websites or gaming journals, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And I've went through them on stream, and there's a couple of ones that actually have some extra side information, and I will play the video of the skills coming from PC Games N over here. They've got a long 11 or 12 minute video about a bunch of the new skills coming, and also the revamped skills, just some showcases, and I'll play you the video of the me going over it with stream and adding a few commentary on that if you'd rather watch that instead of just the uncut, because it's just basically a demo of skills. Instead, you can have me shitposting over the top of it live in action. But lastly, I will mention that this guy here, Alexander the Great, Reddit user, also posted a nice 3.3 info summary, which is pretty damn good. So if you want to go over all of the shit that has so far been given to us for 3.3 in a pretty neat, concise effort here, it goes over the skills and all the additions that are coming for 3.3. Feel free to do that because, yeah, that gives you a good indication of everything that's going to happen so far, all the information we've had. So, yep, for now, that's all from me, guys. I'll leave you with the video of the skills being demoed and just me talking over the top of that. League looks pretty fucking good. What can I say? I'm a big fan of the skill revamps. I'm a big fan of lots of extra content in killing stuff and finding stuff and engaging with monsters and all of that. But overall, yeah, it's mostly just skills and revamps and lots of pretty stuff. So I'm excited for that. Enjoy the video, guys. Hope you're hyped. Yeah. Probably going to have a few more announcements coming soon. But for now, guys, in 20 days, that's when it's happening. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Jesus, man. Traps have some things. Traps look pretty fucking fun. Real size Mathil. Yep, my webcam is now scaled to real life. There's gonna be a shitload of shadows running around at the start of the lake, probably. Ooh, I like the look of that one. And that one. Damn. Explosion-y as fuck. I like me some explosions. That's such a satisfying sound and feel. It's like a, yeah, kinetic blast type of thing. Path of Michael Bay. Did I lag out? The area looks kind of dog shit though, but maybe it just hasn't scaled any. He missed fucking 5 monsters in that one pack. Holy shit! Calling an airstrike on that fool. Jesus Christ. Incinerate? I mean, it seems like a much cooler looking blight, right? Cool looking, better area. Probably better damage. With a bigger explosion at the end. Still slow as hell. Well, to be fair, Siggy made it look a lot better than this. And it seemed like it could be pretty good. Anyway guys, I'm sure you're aware that when they want to actually show something off and you know, skills, gameplay, the actual game itself to the general masses, they don't want to put on a headhunter, have an aura bot, and zip through a triple beyond, which doesn't exist, triple beyond fucking 15 segmented map, and everyone's like, what the fuck is this game? I'm never touching it. Some pleb's gonna click this and be like, oh shit, this game looks cool. Look at him shooting out flames and he's got tough encounters and he's all fiery and stuff. Oh man, that's a big dude. It's a boss fight. This skill looks really cool. Oh man, I almost died. Look how dangerous that can be. You get why they're doing that, right? Rat chat. And not making a giant clear speed build and showing off their build making abilities. Jesus. Fucking hell, Reign of Arrows. That thing has some area. That's a full screen attack. It's literally full screen. That's disgusting. Ooh, the dual strike and the Val dual strike look pretty cool. Look at them, they're heaps fast now. They actually move. It's nice. And then mirror images of you now. Not now, but I mean they are. I think they always were. Point I'm making is, yeah, they are just mirror copies of you. Look at them with the MTX and everything. They look sick. Tripling in on your MTX value. Yep. Planes move faster than the actual character. Yeah. It's fine, I guess.
Lady.
Astronaut, think of the prime. Nice clear speed. Hey, it was actually pretty good clear speed if this is like a new, you know, mapping character at the start of a league. This is decent. This guy's got the ground slam and the Val ground slam action, which looked fucking huge. Yeah, basically reverting nerfs to area shit. That Val ground slam though. Leap! Leap! Lol. It's nowhere near that sad, but when you cut the video off of that leap, it was so sad. Oh, huge. Give that some Herald of Ash or some bleed explosions. Give that some bleed explosions? Forget about it. Fucking done. That'd be so sex. So good. Just got Lightning Strike and Val Lightning Strike. Slash Souls. Where do I get that command? So that's a Val Lightning Strike popping off. Val Lightning Strike's pretty legit. Slash cells. So what, it comes down as a little meteor and just sits there attacking? I don't know, like I said, with all the alleyways and thin corridors and shit like that, Lightning Strike is still going to struggle, I think, if it can't go over obstacles. It's gonna be interesting to see the power siphon change. Because if there's a power siphon change, it's gonna be a Val power siphon change too, right? Looks weak as fuck. Compared to the Val grandson. Well, they built a character that was going to be one-shotting everything in the map that they did with Val grandson. This one's not one-shotting anything. It's just the demo they've made. Because the idea is to show off the skill firing off multiple times. And showing off the skill itself. Whereas with Val Ground Slam, the idea is to show it off one-shotting things, so that's what they did. It's just how they've set up the demo, guys.